anytime you have media affected directly by what they're reporting, it adds a sense of immediacy and urgency to their job and the way they go about doing their job.
One of the things that makes a story like this particularly unique is that oftentimes whenever you're reporting something happens and you either go there or you make phone calls and are interacting with the situation but not necessarily involved. With this, anyone that lived in Charleston or the 9 counties that were affected were directly involved, including all the media. So I think that, unless it would be a situation like a journalist had a family member involved in a news story or a friend or another colleague, you're not really affected by the piece itself as far as the incident happening.
It was a mess. I was lucky. I had water, but that meant I was sort of ground zero for people who needed showers, who needed to fill up water bottles, for people who just kind of wanted a place where they could get away from the no water situation wherever they were and feel a sense of normalcy for a little bit. So I was very, very fortunate. But our staff, our reporters, their families, many of them, I think nearly all of them, they lived in apartments and in homes where they didn't have water either. So this was a story that they were covering, but they were also experiencing firsthand.
I don't think anyone had any clue what was going on. We just knew that there was a leak at Freedom and that residents weren't supposed to use water at all. Of course, having reported this and living in Charleston, we were just as affected as anyone else. So the first 3 days after the spill, people were coming to work unshowered, basically cleaning up as best you could with like baby wipes or some sort of whatever towels you had laying around that you could clean yourself with. Bottled water, bar soap, and a washcloth was about the best you could do.
What the chemical spill taught us is that water is extremely valuable, and we just often take it for granted because we have so much of it. If you go out west, they have droughts on a regular enough basis that they understand the value of their water. What happens here, where we get a lot of rainfall, we take water for granted. We're rarely under water stress in terms of water quantity stress. We just have so much water, and that water has a dilution value to it, so it dilutes our pollution. But what we saw from that chemical spill is that when we don't have water, it creates a serious, serious situation, and not one that's just, environmentalists care about it. Everybody cares about it. Citizens care about it. Businesses care about it. It's wildly important to us, and we see it when we realize it when it's gone.
As a journalist that was covering it, I don't think there was any time to analyze the situation. It was one of those things that we were forced into forced into covering the situation, that any thought about analyzing the situation or evaluating whether or not I wanted to live in Charleston anymore was not even, there was no question, there was no time to make those questions.
We have to be protective of that water. We have to be protective of that water because so much of our state, so much of our businesses, our economy depends on it. It is not just people who care about the environment. They care about the environment because of its value to the people that live here. So we have to be protective of it. And that doesn't mean saying nothing can happen around water, because again, there's so much water that's not even close to possible. But we do have to be vigilant when it comes to being protective of it.